Ever since I was a little girl, I always believed that God had something special when it came to my husband and all the things that had to do with that. Really, the older that I got, stepping into ministry, it seemed like a lot of those dreams were getting further and further away from me. I can remember there would be times when I would lay on my bed and I would talk to my mom and say, I have all these ideas for what an amazing wedding and an amazing life could look like or could start with. And it just felt like all of those things just weren't possible for me any longer. I remember one of the days when I was really struggling with just, Lord, how's this gonna happen? This was even before Mike and I were even together. There was a day where I went to the altar and there was a guest minister and she was here, and when she prayed for me, she said, I feel like I really have a crazy word that I want to give you, and I don't know if this is a metaphor that God's giving me, but I really feel like the Lord wants to tell you today that you are going to have a wedding you didn't pay for, and you're going to live in a home that is free. I'm like, okay, God, like obviously in the moment I was so excited. A wedding that I didn't pay for and a home I could live in that was free. And I remember like coming back and telling my family about this, and obviously a prophetic word like that is something that's extremely clear. And so they were like, okay, like let's just kind of leave that with the Lord. Time passes and Mike and I get engaged, and which was amazing and so exciting, but I remember walking into that, it was almost very bittersweet because I had all these ideas of what this wedding could be, and it just seemed like all of those things weren't possible for me financially. One day, Mike and I were at a party, and it was a family gathering, and this person approaches us and says, hey, you know, what would you think about this for your wedding? And we were, you know, just kind of talking and throwing around ideas about things that I would want. And the person really just provoked me to just begin to dream. They didn't even know that they were doing it. It really just pulled something up out of me. And then a little bit of time passed, and Mike calls me one day and he says, I just got this piece of news, and if you're okay with these couple of things, somebody approached me and told me that they wanted to give you all of this stuff to have what you want for your wedding. And at first when I got the news, it was like almost too good to be true. So I remember as a family, we took it to prayer like, Lord, is this something that we should do? And God clearly spoke that it was him. It was almost as if how things transpired from there was almost unbelievable. The person allowed me to have every single thing and anything that I wanted. I remember they said, what would you like as far as flowers? And I just kind of began talking about the flowers that I liked, and as I'm sitting in this thing, they were like, what if we hang this gigantic floral cloud above your dance floor? And obviously I was like, that would be amazing, but it would take thousands and thousands and thousands of flowers. And they said, if you want that, you can have it. And I remember sitting back in that moment and thinking like, God, how is this even you? I remember it was in that day that the Lord reminded me that when Mike and I had an engagement party, we got a certain sum of money just from gifts from family and friends, and the Lord told us to sow every single dollar that we got. And so we brought the money to church, and we had a couple of people pray for us, and we sowed it just for our future together. At the end of this process, the money that we had given from our engagement party was exactly a 10% seed of how much our wedding cost. It was just a testimony just to the over the top abundance of God. But then not just that, after we got married, we were given an opportunity to live in a home that we did not have to pay any bills or any rent to live there. For this huge amount of time when we were first married, we were able to live in a home for free. So it was like walking through this process. God did something that was never possible in the natural. I got this prophetic word that seemed too good to be true, but I just stood on those promises, and every single thing that the Lord spoke over me, over Mike and I, and over our marriage, every single thing that the Lord said, it came to pass. God is so amazing, and every single thing that He said, His goodness and His faithfulness, it all came to pass. My name is Jessica, and I believe in miracles.